Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite new to me authors of 2021. So this year I have discovered some new favorite authors and I'm so excited to talk about them with you guys today. So I didn't have any guidelines going into this video, like I had to read a certain amount of books by the author to consider them a new favorite. I just didn't want to have any criteria, so we're just going for it. Most of these authors I've actually only read one book from, but I have full confidence in them that they're going to be a new favorite. So I have 4 authors to talk about today. So let's just get started. The first author that I want to talk about that is a new favorite of mine is Carrie Maniscalco. She wrote the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I read this series for the first time this year and I am obsessed with it. Like, I can't stop thinking about the characters Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. I am absolutely obsessed with them. Like, I miss them so much. Like, I literally binge listened to the audiobooks like pretty much one after the other, and then I literally felt empty when I was finished. Like, I was like, oh my god, I don't have a new audiobook to listen to. I can't continue listening about these characters' lives. It was a hard time for me, if I'm gonna be honest, but I just completely fell in love with Carrie Maniscalco's writing and her characterization. Her characters were definitely my absolute favorite part of those books. I haven't yet read her Kingdom of the Wicked series, I believe it's called. I have the audiobook on hold right now. I'm just waiting for it to come in. Don't think I'm gonna get it till next year, which is really sad. But yeah, I don't know, I just fell in love with her characters. I think that they were done so well and they felt so real and amazing, and I just, yeah, absolutely fell in love with them. And like I said, the writing was good, the plot was interesting across all 4 books, and yeah, like I don't know, like even if I don't like her new series Kingdom of the Wicked, which we'll see, I hope that I love it. I have no idea what it's about, for being completely honest, but even if I don't love that series, I'm still gonna kind of consider her like a new favorite author just for the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Like, she gave me Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. I can't thank her enough for that, you know what I mean? Like, they're just so perfect and I love them so much. So yeah, I'm definitely considering her a new favorite author for right now. And again, even if I don't like the Kingdom of the Wicked series, which like I said, I hope that I do, but even if I don't, I'm still intrigued to read more from her. Like, I'm not just gonna stop paying attention to her. Like, I'm gonna look to her future releases to see if there's anything that captures my eye. So yeah, she's definitely a new favorite author of mine just for that series alone. It was beautiful. The next new favorite author of mine is Marissa Cantor. She wrote What I Like About You. She also has a new release, As If on Cue. I have not read that one yet, but I desperately want to. It deals with like high school musical theater, which I'm really excited about. I've discovered that that's like one of my new things to read about in books is like high school theater, so really excited for that one. But I read this book early on in the year, I think maybe like in March or something. I read it in one sitting. I was not planning on reading it in one sitting, but I kind of just sat down and didn't stop till I was done. I think the only time that I got up was to eat dinner, and that's because I had no choice. My mom was like, it's dinner time. But other than that, I would have read this book all the way through. I just loved it so much. Again, the characters were fantastic. I really liked the writing. It was like a really simple and easy writing style. Like, it wasn't hard to read or digest. It was really enjoyable. This plot was so much fun and so interesting to read. It was really captivating because, like I said, I read this in one sitting, so something about it must have been captivating. And as far as like YA contemporaries go, this was a really good one. This book includes a lot of like bookish culture. Our main character has a book blog, which is really cool. She even goes to BookCon in the book, which I just think is so much fun. And then it has one of my favorite tropes of the characters having one relationship online and then having a completely different one in real life because they don't know who the other person is, or one person knows who the other person is, and that's just like one of my favorite dynamics. A lot of my favorite books have that trope in it. So this book just had everything going for it, and like I said, I'm really excited for her next book. It just seems like she really has plots that I gravitate towards, and so I can definitely see myself buying all of her books and her becoming like an author for me. I just really liked everything about this book, and it has everything that I kind of love in a YA contemporary. I just really loved it, so I definitely consider her a new favorite author. Like, I think about this book constantly. The next new favorite author of mine is actually the most recent one out of all of these books, and I don't even think I've talked about this book in a like recent reads yet, but that is 10 Rules for Faking It by Sophie Sullivan. I desperately loved this book. This is another one that I was not necessarily planning on reading in a sitting, but it just kind of happened. Like, I literally started this book and did not want to put it down. I was just completely captivated by it. Like, I just couldn't stop like turning the page and just like I just sat there and I just read it all the way through and I was obsessed with it. Like, this book has one of my new favorite kiss scenes in it. I'm literally obsessed with it. Like, oh my goodness, I'm in love. These characters are so much fun, and it had a really fun dynamic to it. It had the trope of like a workplace romance. It was like the boss and the employee kind of like trope, and I love things like that. I've discovered basically all of these authors have made me discover a new trope that I'm obsessed with, or have just done one of my favorite tropes, because this is definitely one of my favorite tropes now, is just like workplace romances. The tension in this book was off the charts. This book has some of the best anxiety rep I have ever read about. I constantly say that each book I read with anxiety rep just has like a piece of me in it, but nothing gives me like the full picture, and this is the closest that I have gotten to it being the full picture. Like, there were just so many moments that just had my like heart aching because I could relate to it so hard, and it hit me so hard, and I'm about to cry because I'm an emotional bitch, but like it was just so well done, and I just really felt the authenticity behind it. Like, it felt so sincere and so real and so true to my experiences with anxiety, and I appreciate that so much, because like I said, there hasn't been another book that has captured my anxiety this well, so I'm just really grateful for that, and that automatically gives this book like a million bonus points and gives Sophie Sullivan a million bonus points. Like, this book was just so good. It captured my entire heart. I'm literally going to recommend it to everybody from now on. And yeah, just the romance was really good. This is obviously a romance novel, so if the romance wasn't good, that would suck, but the romance between these two characters was so good. Like, the chemistry between them was literally electric. I don't know how to describe it. It was just so on point. It was so good, so beautiful. It was golden, and I'm really excited to read more from Sophie Sullivan. This is actually the first book in like a companion series, apparently. I think it's a trilogy. The next book comes out in January, so you best believe I'm going to be pre-ordering that and also rereading this before that one comes out, just for funsies. I also really want to tab it because I just read it so fast that I didn't even think about tabbing, and by the time that I thought about tabbing, I was like, I don't want to get up and like stop reading. So like, I definitely want to tab this the next time that I read it, because like I said, there were so many lines about anxiety that I just want to mark up. But I can totally see Sophie Sullivan becoming an auto-buy author for me. 100% I am buying every one of her books, and she's definitely a new favorite of this year. Like, this is one of my favorite books of the year. Okay, I've saved the best for last, and I feel like this is gonna come as absolutely no surprise to anybody who has been on my channel since like February, but it is Tasha Bouyon, who wrote Counting Down With You. I'm obsessed, like literally obsessed with this book and with Tasha Bouyon. I also read this book, I think, in almost a sitting. I might have read it like over 2 days, but like this book captured, again, my entire heart. This is the arc of it, by the way, but like I tabbed it so much. Like, there are multiple pages that have like 5 tabs on it. For example, this page has 4 tabs on it. Look how many tabs are on just these 2 pages. Just endless amount of tabs. Like, I don't even want to know how many packages of tabs I used for this. I don't remember. I don't want to know how many tabs are in here, but it's definitely hundreds. Like, there are hundreds of tabs in here, and let me tell you, this is one of my favorite feelings in the world. Just like passing my fingers along tabs in a book, and this is now my favorite book. Like, look at this. This is amazing. In general, this is one of my favorite books of all time now. Like, definitely like my favorite of the year. There were just so many things about this book that I enjoyed. First of all, it deals with my favorite trope of fake dating. There's no trope that I love quite as much as fake dating. It just has my entire heart, and I really loved how Tasha Bouyon did it in this book. It felt kind of different from any other fake dating book that I had read. I just really liked the reasoning behind the fake dating and kind of how it was executed. I really liked Ace and Karina, who are the main characters, and their relationship together. I also, in general, really loved the writing style of this book as well. There were so many quotes that I liked, and again, things that just like sucker punched me, because this book also has anxiety rep, and I really loved the anxiety rep in this book. I remember there being like a few lines at the beginning that just like completely attacked me, and I read them and I was like, oh, like, this is gonna mean a lot to me. Yeah, like, this book just made me feel so many emotions that I can't even fully describe. I read it twice this year. That's how much I loved it, and I'm definitely thinking it's gonna be like a yearly reread kind of thing. I have talked about this book on my channel so many times this year, so I'm sure you know why this book's my favorite and like why I love Tasha Bouyon so much. I also just like love her presence online as well. Like, we have a lot of things in common, so it's just really fun to follow her on social media. I'm also really looking forward to her next release next year, which is a Chauffeur 2. I'm going to be talking about that more in my anticipated releases video. And also I know that she's working on like a Dark Rapunzel book that I don't think it's sold or anything, or at least she hasn't announced that it's sold, and that's like a fantasy book that I'm really excited about, and I'm excited to see her tackle fantasy in the future. But for right now, I'm obsessed with her contemporary books. Can't get enough of them. Literally dying to get a Chauffeur 2. I am obsessed. So she is definitely a new favorite author of mine. 100% auto buy. I'm gonna buy everything she publishes, and I am just so ready and so excited. Okay, so those are all of my new to me favorite authors of the year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below who your favorite new author of the year is, because I'd really love to know. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!